My friends, I want to share something very important with you tonight. Life is not always easy. Sometimes it feels heavy, sometimes it feels unfair, and sometimes it feels like no matter how much we try, we are still standing in the same place. But I want you to remember one thing. Nothing in this world is wasted when it comes to effort. Every small action, every attempt, every word spoken in courage builds you into the person you are meant to become. Think about the times in your life when you felt like giving up. Maybe you tried something, maybe it was English, maybe it was a dream, maybe it was a relationship or a goal, and it did not go the way you wanted. You felt tired. You felt small. But even in those moments, you were learning. Even in those failures, you were planting seeds. Seeds take time to grow. They do not break the soil in one day. But one day they will rise. And when they rise, you will look back and say, I am grateful I did not stop watering those seeds. There was once a man who carried 2 pots of water every day from the river to his home. One pot was perfect, the other had a crack. Every day, the cracked pot lost half its water on the way. The cracked pot felt ashamed and said to the man, I am useless. But the man smiled and pointed to the path. On the side where the cracked pot had leaked, beautiful flowers had grown. Without the crack, there would be no flowers. My friends, maybe you feel like that cracked pot. Maybe you think you're not good enough, not smart enough, not strong enough. But your cracks are what make you beautiful. Your struggles make you unique. Your mistakes make you human. Without them, you would not grow flowers. Many of you watching now are learning English. And I know it feels difficult. Sometimes your words get stuck. Sometimes people laugh. Sometimes you feel embarrassed. But let me tell you something. Even native speakers make mistakes. Even the greatest speakers started with fear. What separates them is not that they were born perfect. What separates them is that they did not give up. They spoke when their voice was shaking. They practiced when their grammar was broken. They kept going when their confidence was low. And step by step, their courage grew. Have you ever watched a child learning to walk? They fall again and again. They fall so many times that if it were us, we would probably give up. But children don't give up. They don't care if people laugh. They don't care how many times they fall. They just keep getting up until walking becomes natural. Imagine if we all lived like that. Imagine if we stopped worrying about failure and just kept trying. There's another story I want to share with you. But children don't give up. A farmer once found an eagle's egg and placed it in a chicken coop. The eagle grew up with the chickens scratching the ground, eating worms, never flying. One day, it looked up and saw another eagle soaring high in the sky. The eagle in the coop said, I wish I could fly like that. But the chickens laughed and said, You are not an eagle. You are just one of us. And so, that eagle lived and died, thinking it was only a chicken. My friends, how many of us are living like that eagle? Born to fly, but listening to the voices of chickens around us? You are not meant to stay on the ground. You are meant to fly. And yet, fear holds us back. Fear of judgment, fear of mistakes, fear of failure. But let me remind you, fear is a liar. Fear whispers in your ear that you are not enough, but it is lying. Every time you face your fear, it becomes smaller. Every time you step forward despite fear, you grow stronger. Fear does not disappear before courage. Courage is acting while fear is still present. Now, think of Thomas Edison. He failed thousands of times before creating the light bulb. People laughed at him, called him crazy, told him to stop. But when asked about his failures, he said, I did not fail. I discovered 1,000 ways that do not work. That is how success is born. Not from perfection, but from persistence. Every mistake you make in English is not a failure. It is a step. Every time you try to speak, you are one step closer to fluency. Every time you practice, your roots are growing deeper. And one day, like the bamboo tree, you will rise higher than you ever thought possible. But to get there, you must stop comparing yourself to others. Comparison steals joy. There will always be someone better, someone faster, someone more skilled. But their journey is not yours. You have your own mountain to climb. And the beauty is not only in reaching the top, but in every step you take on the way. There was once a young man who wanted to climb the tallest mountain. Everyone told him it was impossible. The journey was too long, the rocks too sharp, the air too thin. But he began anyway. Each step was painful, but he kept going. When he finally reached the top, the view was breathtaking. He realized the beauty was not just in reaching the top, but in every struggle that made him strong enough to get there. Your journey is like that mountain. Don't focus only on the final goal. Enjoy every word, every conversation, every lesson. Enjoy the climb because it is shaping you. Sometimes people will try to hold you back. They will laugh. They will criticize. They will say, "You cannot do this." But remember, people only throw stones at trees that are full of fruit. If someone is criticizing you, it means you're doing something that matters. Do not let their voices become louder than your dream. There was once a boy walking on the beach, throwing stones